Okay, so I'm not sure how much you guys have heard about SoftSIM. So let's move on. So firstly, what is SoftSIM? It's basically a global roaming SIM, either embedded into a module at a firmware level or loaded into a plastic SIM. So there are multiple options for SoftSIM. It allows you to manage, monitor, control, and protect your connectivity. There are three options that you can choose from. The first is a Vodafone embedded SoftSIM. The second is an MTN embedded SoftSIM. So those would be embedded at a firmware level into the devices themselves. And the last is a Vodafone plastic SoftSIM. You can actually use the SoftSIM with an external SIM, a normal SIM as well. So it can act as a dual SIM as well if you're smart about it. And you could actually have two SoftSIMs, one being the Vodafone plastic on the outside and one being an embedded one. In terms of the pricing model, so the first one is the, where's the pointer on this thing? Hold on 1 second. No idea. Okay, so the first one is the local MTN SIM. So this gives you an idea of the costing on that. All right, so remember that the soft SIM is also designed, or it's intended for low data usage IoT type applications. So where you're on 5 megs a month, you're at $33 per month on a monthly billing cycle. Okay, there is, on all of the pricing models, there's a $1 per card activation fee and a one-time charge. And if you're purchasing 1,000 or more, there is no activation charge. So for example, I've got customers using in excess of 5,000 modules a month who are interested, and they're paying, I think, in the order of about 25 Rand per SIM as a once-off charge with their current providers. That would completely fall away. So and the rates that they're paying are in this kind of ballpark anyway for this kind of data. So very attractive pricing model in my opinion, and it's not a long-term contract that you're getting into either, which Miyelani will explain a little bit more. The second option is the Vodafone plastic SIM. Costs a little bit more. Not quite sure why that is the case, but it does. And the last one is the Vodafone soft SIM, which is the embedded SIM, and that is the same price as the MTN embedded SIM. All of them have the same $1 per device, MIQ 1000, and it's waived. Okay. The differences between the three options is purely the coverage. So the MTN soft SIM is only a local MTN SIM. It's not going to give you any roaming capability. And the other big advantage of the soft SIM option is that you've got this international roaming capability without having to be smashed with international roaming bills. So all of the soft SIMs come from a company called Linksfield, and I'll just mention who Linksfield is quite quickly. It's a company that's been started by Simon Wong, the same guy who started Simcom. So Simcom was Simon's company, Simon Wong. That's how the name came about. So Simon is one of the founding owners of Linksfield. He was also incidentally one of the founding owners of QuickTel. So this approach does actually work in QuickTel modules as well. And it will end up being a listed company. I think they're in about 80 countries at the moment. They've set up local offices, including South Africa. They've got Stephen Allen, formerly, I think he was with Telit or one of the other module guys. So he started the office here in South Africa for Linksfield. So if we look at the differences, and I'm not going to go through these slides in detail, the plastic soft SIM, there's a nice long list of coverage of which countries it covers under that the pricing model that you're getting. Same again for the Vodafone embedded soft SIM. It's a similar list, not quite the same as the plastic list. So if you're looking to export, then you would really need to just look at the countries that are covered by the different options. Okay, so a few frequently asked questions that we get: how do I purchase a soft SIM? Okay, so basically you come to us and we can load specific, well, we do load specific firmware. If you're purchasing, 500 pieces or something like that, and we're ordering a full reel for you, we have that done at the factory. If it's 20 or 30 pieces, we can also support it. We can load it locally for you onto the module in our offices. There's no charge for loading it. There's no difference to the firmware in terms of the functionality that you're used to enjoying on the modules. It's exactly the same. The only difference is it's got the SIM embedded into it. So do you have to have a special GSM module to use SoftSIM? Yes. Okay. So in terms of SimCom, I've actually got the full list of all the modules from all the vendors that are supported. It's not just QuickTel and SimCom. It's actually down to the Qualcomm chipset level, the MediaTek chipset level as well. So if devices have their right chipset, it can still be loaded even in competitive devices. So at the moment, as far as SimCom goes, it supports the 7000 family, the SIM7 6000 family, the 7020, and the SIM 800 family. Obviously, a lot of guys are on the 800, so that's where a lot of the interest is, and a lot of guys moving towards the 7600 as well. So what network do we use? I think that's been answered already because I've shown you the coverage from the different options. Must I pay for a SoftSIM? If you don't use the data, yes, then you pay a license fee. If you use the data, then the data resources, then the license fee is waived. But at $33 I mean, most people would just sign up on a $33 a month minimum. When and how does the SoftSIM get activated and by whom? So once the firmware for the module is loaded, the SoftSIM is switched on via AT commands, and activation can be done in two ways. And this Miyelani is going to show you using a SIM production tool where the PD code is required, or over the air on certain modules with the over the air capability of the MZ would be loaded over the air. Okay, so you can do it over the air, you can activate. Once the SoftSIM is activated, there are two stages. There's idle, which means the SoftSIM is active and hasn't used 100K of data. It can be kept idle for a certain period of time. Once the SIM uses either 100K of data or passes the allotted time, it becomes active and the billing starts. What are the charges once activated, and how and to whom do we pay these charges? So most Linksfield data services are prepaid direct to Linksfield, so you pay in advance. The customer decides what data consumption they would like to use, and quotations are based on this usage. If there is a contract term, i.e. the cost of the data is billed monthly or month in advance. Now, I have looked at doing specific costing for guys that are using less than 5 megs a month. I think 3 megs a month came to something like $30 cents as opposed to $33 cents. So it's pretty insignificant, the change to the charges. Does it have a phone number? Yes, it does have a number linked, but the SoftSIM is not voice capable. It is only data and SMS capable. So SMSs, if you use them, are charged over and above the data rates that I've shown. I don't know what they build at, and it's quite frustrating because I've been asking for 3 days, so I should have an answer on that, which I'll send out via email as well, or our literature will be updated to indicate that. Okay. So now I'm going to hand over to Miyelani. He's going to be doing a practical demo, showing you how the device is actually working on a router that happens to be using a module that's capable of SoftSIM. Mia, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Just a second. I want to share my screen. Okay, hi. My name is Miyelani. I'm a technical manager here at Otto. I will be showing you the SoftSIM on one of the modules that I was testing on the router, but I will be sending commands. I won't be showing it on the router. I have a slide prepared, but I'm not gonna go through all the slides. I will do the practical demo where I will send commands. So I will quickly go through the agenda. So the agenda will be switching on the SoftSIM, setting the APN. We have 2 APN, which is flowlife.net, mobile.3.com.hk. If you use flowlife.net, you connect to MTN, and if you use mobile.3.com.hk, you connect to Vodafone or Vodacom. After setting the APN, you have to switch off and on the RF function. We'll show the SoftSIM version to inquire the SoftSIM APN parameters, also to inquire IMSI details information, also to show that the SoftSIM can connect to the network. So this is the module that I will be using. You can see there's no SIM card. So everything is embedded on the firmware. I will jump straight to the AT commands. As I said, first you will check if the SoftSIM is on or off. If it is 0, then it is off. If it is 1, if you have SIMCOM module and you want to switch on, you have to change 0 to 1. And if you have QuickTel, you have to change 0 to 3. At the moment, I'm using QuickTel that goes to our LTE device. So to switch it on, I will use this command.
Yeah, you're sharing the wrong screen. You're still sharing your the presentation. Just switch your share screen to what you're doing.
Okay, just a second.
Here we go. We've got it. Thank you. Sorry, I have seen a few questions coming in the chat. You guys are welcome to put them there, and then we'll go through it at the end of the demo if it's not already answered.
Okay. Sorry, I already sent few comments, but as I was saying, you first check if the SoftSIM is on. If it's not on, you have to switch it on, where you send a command with a number at the end. If it's 0, it means the SoftSIM is off. You can send that to switch it off and use a normal SIM. And you can send this command with 3, which is a QuickTel module. You can send the command with 1, which is what is a SIMCOM module. I've been testing this on the router, so I quickly took out the module to do this demo. So at the moment, I did switch on the SoftSIM. If I check, you can see it is on with the number 3. Now I need to set the APN. I will connect to Vodacom. You send the command with the APN command with the APN from Flick Switch. And
switch your email off, yeah.
Yeah, I'll close the email. Sorry about that. Then after setting the command, you need to switch off. You need to switch off the RF function by sending AT plus CFAN equals to 0, and then switch it back on to action the connectivity to the network. After that, you can check the revision. You can see the whole revision of the SoftSIM here. You can get the, you can inquire about the APN parameters. This the APN parameters. You can get your IMSI details, and this is your IMI details. This is the command. So these are the SoftSIM commands. So after doing everything here, you can use the normal command that the module manufacturer gives you, like checking the signal, checking the connectivity, doing HTTP, doing TCP. So all those are the same as before. But these are the few commands from what SoftSIM that you need to know. Now I can check that. Now I can check that I have signal strength 80 plus CSQ, which is 21, and my connection, it is connected. CREG is 1, and I'm connected to Vodacom. So those are the commands that I wanted to show you. Still on the module, there's no SIM card, but it is connected to the network. So the next thing that I will be showing you, quickly going back to my other screen, just a second.
While Miyelani is doing that, I'm just going to answer a couple of the questions that have come in while he's on that. Mia, just let me know when you're ready. So
Okay.
the first question is, what if you need a bit more data? So what Mia will show you now as well on the back end is how to just load additional data. So that's not an issue. When you say modules can be activated by OTA, is that something I can do to existing devices in the field? No, because they won't have the right firmware on them yet. So it has to have the correct firmware. Are custom or other APNs allowed? Mia, correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, then they need to be allowed. I mean, you need to be able to connect to your own APN. Only LTE, what about download connectivity when LTE is not available? No, it's not only LTE, because it definitely does support the SIM 800C as well, which is limited to GPRS. Any other questions? We currently use MTN portal to change the status of the SIM, active, disable, etc. Will we still be able to use these tools? So no, you'll have to use the tools which Mia is going to show you now, but it is connected, for example, to the Vodafone platform in the background. So most of that, well, if not all that functionality is still there. It's just a different platform will need to be used, but all the functionality is there. Okay, Craig, well done. You answered that question correctly. Okay, over to you, Mia.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the next thing is the platform where you can load your SIM cards and everything. So SoftSIM. So this will be your status overview, which I won't go through every slide, but sub account, how to create sub account. I won't show the screenshots because of the details of the customers already on the platform. I can show you how to allocate the devices, where to go to allocate the devices, to recover the device. If you allocated a wrong device to another client, you can recover that. To terminate early termination if you lost the device, renew order suspension, you can suspend the order and everything. And then that will be it. So I will jump direct to the platform. This the URL that you need to visit. When you get the login screen, you have to select English, because if it's in Chinese, it will be a hassle to understand the platform. So you have the overview, which will come on shortly. Okay, so here is your usage. Here is if your device, the suspended devices, you can see the status of valid SoftSIM, active SoftSIM, and everything. And the last one is your inventory, where you can see if you have new SoftSIM in the platform or any new order and everything. At the bottom, it will show you the usage status. But at the moment, this the SIM card, this the module that is showing at the bottom there. This the device. You can manage the device. I have devices already in the platform. These are the devices. You can see the active device is the one that I have, that I'm doing the demo with. And you can do device allocation by clicking device allocation, recover as the same. So when you click device allocation, you put the IME number and you select the enterprise. I won't be clicking much because I will be showing other customers information. Device recovery is the same as you just put the IME number, which was allocated incorrectly. Under order, you can see your order. Let me quickly switch off the video. Okay, so under Under your orders, you can see your orders where you can do the termination. So if I want the device that I'm using to do early termination, if I lost it, or where I want to renew, or if I want to suspend the order, I can do it here. And once you click on one of these options, it will direct you on how you can do it. If you want to add another customer, so when you buy from us, we'll add you on our platform, and you can add others to your platform to allocate the SIM card. So here is where we put our customers' account and everything. If you want to recharge, you can recharge. So if you have low data or you have no data, you can come to your general utility and you recharge. If you select the right options here and the amount of data, and then it will load the data to the SoftSIM. And yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay, thanks, Mia. Yeah, so there's a couple of questions that have come through. Let me just scroll up to the top. Okay, so the one comment was, if we have to use the back end to load data, it will kill the product. We need automatic data provisioning. Mia, do you know if there's any option to automatically provision additional data, or do you have to buy bundles?
No, I don't have that information. We can check and reply to that.
Okay, so that's a good question. We'll have to come back to you on that one, Francois, because I don't have the answer to that one either. Is there a consumer grade Huawei routers that are compatible? Okay, so it goes at the chipset level, so it depends what chipset is in the router itself. So I think you're going to battle with a commercial router, because remember, one of the opening things I said is that this is meant for small data packets. It's IoT applications. It's not meant for, you know, sort of home surfing or that sort of thing. But also you're going to have the manufacturer load firmware into the module, and at a commercial level with a Huawei and what have you, they are just not going to do that unless you're buying 100,000 routers from them. They just, I don't think they even consider it for anything less than 10,000. So it may be compatible with some of the chipsets that are in there, but to get the manufacturer to load it, it's going to be an uphill battle. Do we have access to this new platform via API tools if we want to action commands from our own platform? Mia?
We haven't tried.
But is it something that you've seen or heard?
No, not yet.
Okay, so Devin, we're going to have to confirm that as well. But I would imagine they need to have some way of integrating into customers' platforms, because they've got about 200,000 devices out in the field already, Linksfield, and I don't believe for 1 second that everybody's logging into a website to do things manually. So I'm sure, I'm 99% sure, and I'll get confirmation on how that happens out to you. Okay. Can you provision pooled data? And the next question is that data bundled in a pool between all the SIM cards that you have? Like if I use 4 meg on one SIM, can I use the other 1 meg on another? Does this portal have some sort of API access? Okay, so the API access I think I've mentioned above. So the pooled data, no, it's not pooled data. So what Linksfield are doing is they are going to every service provider all over the world. And I mean, I literally took them to MTN, so I know how they're doing it. They're getting data from the guys and they are pooling it in the background and selling it in bundles per SIM. I have spoken to them about the requirement to pool data as well, okay? But again, it comes back to the application that it's intended for is small, low data usage IoT devices, where if you buy a little 5 meg bundle at 33 cents and you use 3 megs, you know, you're not going to cry about the 2 megs that you get lost. There is no carryover month to month as well, because your contract isn't with a South African entity that's you know, that's governed by ICASA and whatever. It's an international contract, so there's no carryover. If you don't use the data, you lose it. Will Otto have access to our SIMs? Mia, do you want to answer that? Will we have access to their SIMs?
So the allocation, it can be allocated direct to your account by Linksfield, and we don't have that access. But if it is our client and they have to we have to install a device somewhere, and then we will have that device on our platform, but it is a choice. So if you don't want us to have the SoftSIM in our account, but we can't do anything to our SIM card, your SoftSIM, but we can see that as Auto.
Okay, so the answer is we don't have to have any access to your SIM cards at all. How secure and safe is interfacing with the Chinese site? Cool. I'd have to get them to answer that, but yeah, they're planning on being a listed company. So these aren't. This is not a Mickey Mouse company that's just doing a fly-by-night application. I think that would probably be better answered if I send out their presentation and explain who they are and whatever. So what I'll do is everybody that's joined today, I will send an email once I've uploaded all of the documentation for download, and I'll include the Linksfield presentation as well. I'm pretty sure it's secure. But yeah, I can understand the question, and if we need more clarity around that, I can get the supplier to give us a bit more information about how secure it is and what measures they take. Can I load 2 SIMs in the firmware and activate according to APN in order to switch between networks? Can I load 2 SIMs in the firmware and activate according to the APN? No. So you can load the SoftSIM firmware and you can use one embedded SIM, which would have to be, let's say you choose Vodafone. You can then have the plastic SIM external and you can switch between the 2 of them. What is the support channel? Will we be dealing directly with Linksfield or going via Otto? So it's actually your choice. It's either. Linksfield, as I've mentioned, do have an office that's opened in South Africa. So dealing directly with Linksfield doesn't entail you needing to get hold of China. There is an office in Johannesburg, and you can deal directly with them for any support. You can deal with us, whichever you prefer. It's neither here nor there to us, as long as you as the customer are happy. If there's downtime and that sort of thing, then obviously we'd have to get directly in touch with Linksfield and find out what's going on and whatever. But so far, I'm not aware of any downtime issues that have happened or anything like that. Are there any other questions? Can you, sorry, I just saw now that someone said you guys are not hearing me. One question that has not been answered is how do you provision the module? You don't provision the module. The module is provided to you by ourselves with the correct firmware already loaded. You then just have to provision or activate the SIM card. The SIM will be embedded into the module, okay? So as part of the firmware. If you don't use it after 6 months, basically it flushes out and you can you cannot then use it after that period. The other question is roaming allowed, so that's why I brought up the presentation, which for some reason is not sharing anymore. So let me just quickly reshare this. So if you go to the coverage maps, you'll see here, for example, the plastic SIM will automatically roam between all of these countries and within each country between different networks as connectivity is available or not available. Same with the Vodafone coverage one. The MTN device is a local device only. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring up the questions again. Hold on 1 second. Where are you? Chat. Okay. Okay, the support channel, there's a local office in South Africa, which is Linksfield. So technical support is local. We can also support you from our side if there are any issues. How secure and safe? I'll have to get that information from Linksfield. So what I'll do is I'll make their presentation available as well as part of the pack of data that we allow download. Roaming, the length of the grace period after activation before fees start getting charged. So if you're talking about testing the device, you know, and how long is that test period, there's not really a limit on that. It's quite lenient, and you know, you get some data loaded and you test that everything is working. We've been in test with one or two clients for over a month, so that's quite flexible. A list of the devices that are supported I'll include in the pack of data that's available. The SIMs get flushed after 6 months of no use with no way to reactivate. Okay, only if you have not activated them. Okay, so if you go to the shop and you buy a SIM card and you don't use it, and then 6 or 8 months later you try and use it, you won't be able to, because that number will be flushed within the MTN or Vodacom system. So it's not a case of, well, you were busy using it, then you stopped using it, and now it's been flushed. It's if you've not activated it. And that's normal. That's the same as it is with other SIMs. Sorry for you guys not hearing me. I actually forgot to unmute. Very, very rookie error there. Let me see that I've answered all of the questions. So I think Miyelani answered about having access to your SIMs. We don't have access to your SIMs if you don't want us to. We don't really want to be a SIM provider or a SIM management company anyway, so that's not our intention. Okay, I don't know if there's any other questions, guys. Okay, so if there's no other questions, then I'd just like to thank everybody for your attention today. Let's get to the end. Oopsie. There we go. So my details are up on the screen now. If you do need anything, or if anything comes to you that wasn't covered, you're more than welcome to drop me a mail or drop me a Skype. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email out to everybody privately once I've uploaded all of the data to Dropbox or something like that. The presentations will be there, the coverage, everything will be there, the rates. And if there is something that you're looking for that's not included there, please just drop me a line and I will gladly assist you with whatever else you need. But otherwise, thank you very much, guys. If there's no more questions, I'm going to end the session. So thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.